first saying of Jesus is found in Luke. We've actually have to go to each one of the four Gospels here to get the full picture. So we are in Luke chapter 23, verse 34. And Jesus is speaking to the Father. Then Jesus said, Father. Now Jesus is hanging. He's on the cross. He's being crucified. And Jesus says, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they do. And they divided his garments and cast lots. Now, who is Jesus referring to? Well, the answer is in the verse. Father, forgive the soldiers. They're just now dividing his garments and casting lots for those garments. Father, forgive the soldiers. They were involved from the very beginning. They took Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane, and from that point onwards, he was a prisoner, bound right through to the point where he was nailed to the cross. And they were involved, of course, they were present at his trial, various trials, two by the Jewish authorities, two by Pilate, and one by Herod. But here we are in Pilate's judgment hall. Now this is John 19, 1-3. So then Pilate took Jesus and scourged him, and the soldiers twisted the crown of thorns and put it on his head. And they put on him a purple robe, and they said, Hail, King of the Jews! And they struck him with their hands. They mocked him. They cursed him. They struck him with their hands. And you remember as Jesus made his way along that Della Rosa route to Golgotha's hill, that the scourging had already broken him. And he stumbled and fell, and he could not carry his cross along that route. The soldier's whip took men to the very edge of death, and Jesus' body was broken before it was ever put upon the cross. He said, This is my body, which is broken for you. Now, Matthew omits the next thing. The cross was laid on the ground, and Jesus was placed in a cruciform on the ground. And of course, prisoners would have fought to avoid what happened next. But Jesus, we read that Jesus did not. He submitted himself to all the atrocities in silence, like a lamb to the slaughter, described by Isaiah. And as he lay there, they drove these great nails into his wrists and into his feet, which must have been excruciatingly painful. And then, of course, they'd already dug 3 holes for 3 crosses. And lifting up the cross, it was dropped into the ground. You can imagine the weight and how that hit the bottom, and how the hands and the feet would have been torn by the nails. But Matthew omits that point from his account. And we read this, Matthew 27:35, they crucified him and parted his garments, casting lots, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophet. They parted my garments among them, and upon my vesture they cast lots. And we read that the soldiers sat there and they watched him there, and they put this superscription, this accusation above Jesus' head, Jesus of Nazareth, the King of the Jews. And of course, Pilate wrote that as a savage taunt to the Jews, not particularly as an insult to Jesus. And so there is our first saying. And there are notes to go with this on the website, and they're in more detail. But this is our meditation. Reflect on these words of Jesus about forgiving those who treated him so badly. And let's ask ourselves whether this has any personal application to me. Mistreatment, hard words, whatever. Do I need to forgive? Amen.